Have you taken a nice close look yet at the new Patrick Ta Major Glow Cream and Powder Light Reflecting Translucent Highlighter Duos? Well, you're going to see all 5 shade combos today with me, Rebecca. I am a fashion and beauty editor who has worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, and I created Not Fit for Print Beauty here to be a sort of digital beauty magazine that you can kind of figuratively flip through every day or so here on YouTube. Let's get started. We have 5 different shade combinations of the new Patrick Ta highlighter. Can we just call it the Patrick Ta highlighter because that name was really long. I had to read it off paper and I don't want to do it again. They are $40 each, and in each little compact, I have all 5 of them right here in front of me. You get this really pretty, let me get the fingerprints off for a moment, please. You get this really pretty kind of rose gold shiny case, typical Patrick Ta looking. We have a very nice mirror inside, and you have what I like to call the Ta flap. Yes, I know that other brands have little plastic separators when they have cream and powder, including Natasha Denona, who might or might not have done it first. I know. But Ta flap has a really nice ring to it. So we have the Ta flap, as I like to call it, separating a cream highlighter from a powder highlighter. We're going to compare them all and talk about if you need more than one of these and how they look. And we're going to try them on in quite a few different ways, plus swatching them in 2 different lights. Now, I will say, guys, if you have more comparisons than what I show you here, you can ask me over on Instagram or ask me here below. I do all those comparisons, and I'm backed up because I got sick for a while. So I'm backed up. I have some requests coming up this weekend, and some more if you want to add to it. Just go ahead and put it down below. Okay. All right, so as I said, these are $40 each. They come in 5 different shades. Take a look at the ingredients here. If you are an ingredient nerd, more power to you. Boy, his ingredients are a little tough to see because they're on that shiny box. So go ahead and freeze that screen if you need to see it. And as usual, all information was down below in a former snippet there. When I introduced the product, you can see the packaging and all of that good stuff. Okay. We have 5 different shades here and a number of ways to apply. There is no doubt that Patrick Ta is basically the king, well-deserved, of powder and cream used together. He has a beautiful way of blending them in to make it look, he says that like it looks like a complement to your skin rather than a highlighter. These guys are a little glittery, so I'm real curious as to how they're going to look. But I do trust Patrick Ta, and the way he works with skin, things just melt in. I'm going to be doing a lot of face washing because we're going to try all 5 on. We're going to try them in 2 different ways. I want you to wait here for the demo. Patrick Ta's just like kind of, I want to say patented, but it's not literally patented. But the way he has always done things is he starts with the powder, whether here in his highlighters or in his blushes, and then he puts cream on top. It's a little backwards from the way we had all been kind of taught to do it, and that makes it meld in. But he says, really, it's up to you. You can wear these individually, and if you want, you can do cream with powder over. So we're kind of going to do all 4. We're going to look at them alone, and we're going to look at them leveled up together, okay? And that's why I'm not doing massive amounts of highlighter comparisons in this video, because it will just go too long. All right, so just let me know what you need. Let's look at some swatches, shall we? First, in studio lighting, you won't see it as well as outside, I admit, we have all of them lined up. In each one of these swatches, please note that it is cream first, followed by powder. So let's take a look here in studio lighting on my arm. We have My Love, which is a kind of diamondy shade. Baby, a kind of pink shade. Remember, it is cream and then powder. Sugar, that's the champagne shade. Daddy, which is the rose gold shade, and Honey, the more bronze shade. All of these will work really however you want to use them. You could just use them more recklessly depending upon your skin tone. But a lot of people, of course, with deeper skin tones might want to stay towards the Daddy or Honey. If you have a really, really light fair, you might want to stay towards My Love or Baby. But it's makeup. There's not any rules. And I would use this everywhere. I would go on lips and eyes. go for it. You know, I have fun. And as Patrick Ta says, though he has always kind of gone with powder underneath cream, he thinks you should just do what it is that you want to do. I will definitely be asking how people are using this over on our Facebook group. You know, we have a totally free Facebook group where the community can chat. It's growing by leaps and bounds, thanks to Helen, who's running it over there. Go on down below into the description bar and give it a click and come over and join us, or join me on our membership group. It's just under $5 a month, and we have weekly lives. We'd love to see you there. Let's see these better by taking them outside into the warm California sunshine. What do you see these? Aren't they pretty outside? Now the question becomes, we can see the shade definitely in the powder. The shade in the cream is a lot more subtle. I do admit a lot more subtle, and becomes more noticeable as we get towards Daddy and Honey, which as you can see are more towards my wrist. It goes lightest. My Love, Baby, Sugar, Daddy, and Honey. And those real nuanced shades in the cream become much more obvious as we get a bit deeper in shade. Now, how do you apply? Well, I have been watching Patrick Ta. I think he's a great teacher, so I always watch his Instagrams. He does it a few ways. He uses his own brush, of course. He even uses the nose brush that he has that's very popular to apply the powder. For the cream, the website suggests a, damp, wrung out beauty blender sponge. But Patrick Ta just tends to tap it in with his fingers. So we'll do a little bit of everything today. So I'm going to have a lot of face washes here. A lot of face washes. I don't mind, because we want to take a look at these, okay? What I'm going to do is we're going to start with only powder, only cream. I don't know if that's the order I'll do them, but only powder, only cream. Then cream over powder, then powder over cream. So you're basically going to be seeing these 4 ways, okay? And again, there are timestamps for those of you who are more interested in one over another. Okay, so let's start with My Love, which is our diamond shade. Let me show it to you here, and I will pull up the Ta flap. My goal is to have Patrick Ta say Ta. Come on, Patrick Ta. I wore my Patrick Ta sweatshirt. I want him to say Ta flap. I'm waiting. Okay, so this is our kind of diamondy highlighter. It looks a little glittery to me, but let's see. Brought over a bunch of clean brushes. Okay, let's just go right now. Just powder, okay? I am way overdoing it. I do not think I'm going to the club. See, that's to me very glittery. And some of you will think so. That is just the powder. And on this side right now, I'm going to start with just the cream. Ooh, that's pretty. It's almost completely translucent. I would say it is. Which is the whole idea of a highlighter. Just the cream. Just the powder. All right, now let's layer them. Okay. All right, first of all, we're going to put cream over powder. Patrick Ta says this helps it melt completely into the skin and become much more skin-like, which I do agree with. That is the Patrick Ta method, cream over powder. Now for a blingier look, we are going to do powder over cream, which would be this side of the face. Oh boy, it is a blingier look. And again, not the method that Patrick Ta tends to choose himself on his models, but he does demonstrate it. Powder over cream. Wow. Cream over powder. And you saw them individually before. Now I'm going to set that brush aside so we don't contaminate. We're going to set the shade My Love aside. And we're going to move on to Baby after face wash numero uno. Stay right there. Face wash number 1 is complete. As I do close-ups, please forgive me if you do see, well now you will because I'm pointing it out, a little bit of peeling skin on my nose here. Doing the best I can, recovering from being sick. So it's a little ugly. Okay, let's go to Baby, which is a pink shade. Let me show it to you. Isn't that pretty? Let me lift up the Ta flap. That's one of my favorites. I don't know if it'll look good on me, but isn't that pretty? Kind of a cooler pink. All right, so let's go ahead and switch brushes. And we will do just the pink first. We have no interference. I really washed my face well. Quickest face wash ever, according to you guys. I still have a lot of energy too because that was my first face wash. Okay, and I overdid it really well so you guys can see it really nicely. That is the baby shade, just the powder if you wanted to wear it on its own. Let's go ahead in with a sponge because we can apply. Patrick Ta does it both ways. Okay, and this is the cream for baby applied with a sponge. Okay, let me go ahead and make sure there's no interference there in terms of lighting. Okay, here we go. We have our sponged on cream in the shade Baby, gentle pink, very translucent, really just like the first. And our pink shade, which is going very sparkly, I think, when done alone. Okay, now let's do a little bit of layering. I'm going to take the butt of that same here. And this is what, as I said, Patrick Ta says, feels like it just makes it become much more skin-like and meld into the skin. I am overdoing it, but do take a look. That is the powder underneath with the cream on top. And now, of course, we're going to go ahead and bling it up the blingier way because I have this almost translucent cream underneath, and now we're going to put the powder over. So this is going to be much more electric, and on top of that, I am overdoing it. I don't know if it suits my complexion, to be honest with you. That's a personal issue, not a you issue. Okay, blingy cream with powder over it, kind of a more traditional method. And then the Patrick Ta method, we have our cream over powder, which does blend it in. I can see why he does that. I actually do prefer that. It does really just look like it's part of my skin, doesn't it? It's quite nice. Okay, now our next one up is going to be Sugar. That's the champagne shade. We have done Baby and we have done My Love. All right, let's go for it. Face wash numero dos. Our third shade is Sugar, as I said, a champagne duo. Let me show you what that looks like. Now we're getting into the kind of medium range. To me, this is the least unique of all the shades. They're all unique because of this, formula and the way that Patrick Ta is putting them together, to be honest. But, it feels like the least unique in terms of shade. So let me go ahead in with a brand new, so we don't get anything messed up. We're going to just do powder only on this side as we've been doing. Again, I want you to see this all four ways. So I thought this technique kind of worked. Powder only. A clean sponge. I've got so many of these from Refer. And let's go ahead. I kind of like the sponge application. And let's go ahead and put on the cream. See now, but look, that's really getting pretty because though I said it's the least unique in terms of shade, these that are starting to get a bit deeper have a lot more interest in the cream shade, I think. The powder is becoming something I recognize. Almost like I feel like the powder shades are more unique in the more fair shades, and the cream is more unique as we get a bit deeper, if that makes sense. Okay, now let's combine. Same, keep this little spongy out. We're going to go on this side that already has the powder and do the Patrick Ta method, putting this cream, which as I said, I really find to be much more unique, over this instead. I have got so much foundation in my hair, it's not even funny. It's okay. No one is hurt. And look at how that just becomes part of my skin. And we're going to bling it up by taking that same brush and going over to this side that just has cream and putting the powder over it. And I have loaded up the brush so you can really see what it looks like. Hey, if I'm going to wash my face, I'm going to make it worth it, right? Very blingy. And of course you wouldn't apply it with such abandon. Or go ahead, actually. Who am I kidding? Do you? Again, we have our blingy powder over cream and our Patrick Ta method, cream over powder. In that third shade, that very champagne-y shade, which is called Sugar. We have two more left. I'm really interested in them because they're the slightly deeper ones. That's Daddy and Honey. Let's do our third. Face wash. For you, these face washes are so quick. I kind of feel like I need a pit crew here with me. You know, where like some sort of a whistle blows and they come with like a big powder poof and get... Okay, anyway, I have a strange imagination. If you've been with my channel for a while, you know that. All right, let's look at Daddy. That's a rose gold shade. It just makes me laugh. Daddy. Okay. Okay, Daddy. Okay, here's our rose gold shade. Oh, that's pretty. See? The creams are getting more interesting. The powders are getting a little more recognizable. But together, I think that's where the magic is. Switch up brushes. Okay. And, ooh, this is a bit of a dense brush. We're going to get a nice look here from Daddy. Okay, going to get the wrong kind of viewers. Here's Daddy. So this is that rose gold. This is the one. So I bought all 5 for us to compare. But everyone always asks me, Rebecca, would you personally buy all 5? No, probably not, but I would have bought this one. If it says rose gold, you can't keep me away. I don't care. I'll tell you like it is. Okay, I'll use my fingers on this one so we can kind of see it both ways. This is what Patrick Ta does when he applies. I'm not pulling, don't worry, I'm just tapping this product in. Like I said, getting more interesting. My cheeks are also starting to burn. But you won't be washing your face this many times, please tell me. Okay, here we go. Cream only in this Daddy shade. Powder only in the Daddy shade. Okay, layering the cream over the powder for that really nice look that Patrick Ta looks for, which is that whole blended in, as he said, so you get compliments on your skin, not on your highlighter. And this technique that he has really perfected here is really very signature for him and is quite ingenious. Because when he first started it, we were like, wait. No, did I read that wrong? Cream over powder? Yes, indeed. And it's quite pretty. But if you want it to be blingier, go ahead and do what we're going to do now. And that is take the side that already has cream on it and go ahead and swipe that powder right over it. Like I said, if I'm going to wash my face, I'm going to make it worth it. Do these accentuate pores, you might be asking? I gotcha. Let's take a look. I put on a lot of the cream on this side, and I'm happy to report that they don't. Now, in general, please know that highlighters, their job is to highlight, to bring forward. So if you have, skin damage, if you got texture, if you got pores like I do, it's not like this will hide them. It is a highlighter, but we don't need it doing extra duty to show them off now, do we? And it most definitely is not. In fact, I am most pleased with that. There's the side that the way Patrick Ta applies it, which I admit is my favorite, but you might prefer a blingier look. Okay, we have our 4th and final, what will I do with the rest of my day? Face wash, and then we will look at our deepest shade, which I'm really excited to see as well, called Honey. The 4th face wash for me heralds in the 5th shade and final shade for you guys to see, and I have my 5th little blush brush. Good thing I did some brush laundry before this video started. Take a moment, please make sure you are subscribed to this channel as it really helps me grow. All right, let's take a look at Honey here, and then we're going to talk about these shades because I do have some thoughts on the product. I know a lot of you are trying to decide if you should buy or not. I do have a lot of thoughts. Honey is our most lovely bronze shade here that will certainly be an attractor if you have a deeper skin tone, but it's not stopping me. Okay, we're going to just put the powder on right here, and I will overdo it. I'm going to go a little overboard. So I used a fluffy brush. Again, the fluffiness or density of your brush, this might be an obviosity, but maybe not to all of us. There are no stupid questions. The denser your brush, the more of the powder it will apply. And I think I'll use a beauty blender, actually a Reffer, for the cream portion of this bronze shade called Honey. And actually the cream looks like honey, doesn't it? Again, a lot of thoughts about this product. Here is the cream only of Honey. It looks like honey, doesn't it? and the powder only of honey. And you're wondering, is this sticky on the skin, Rebecca? You'll know the answer if you've already played with Patrick Ta blushes, but that's coming up. Okay, let's go ahead and use the Patrick Ta method of putting the cream over the powder. Why? It blends it into the skin a little bit better. And I'm kind of just using a little bit of a stamping motion with this cool wrung out sponge. And it just really makes the product meld with the face. Okay. But if you're looking for some excitement, aren't we all? Try putting the powder directly over the cream. And this is going to get a bit deep for my skin tone, so forgive me. Just trying to, not trying to look like, is it C3PO or R2D2 who was golden? So it's a little bit deep for my skin tone, so forgive me. I just wanted to show it to you. Maybe would not be my shade, or certainly not put on this much. So you're going to get a lot blingier look. Compare that. That's putting the powder over the cream in a more traditional application method. And this is the method that Patrick Ta has presented and perfected. Cream over powder. Sorry to repeat myself, but some people are tuning in just for the shade that they want us to see. Okay, is it sticky, you ask? Let's talk about this side of things here. Not at all. A tad bit. Some of Patrick Ta's cream to powder products can be a little sticky with the cream. His products are very editorial. He loves to powder. As much as this artist loves cream, he loves powder, and he loves to work with them together in the interplay between cream and powder. I feel he's mastered it probably more than anyone in the industry today. So yeah, you know, you might have to put a little translucent powder over. On this side here, I really put a lot of the cream down. I was exaggerating it. So with the powder over it, it takes care of it. On this side with our cream on top, I feel it a little bit, doesn't bother me. If you are bothered by a slightly sticky feeling, you might want to put a little dusting with a very fluffy, airy brush of translucent powder over if that feeling bothers you. Or just do it lighter with the cream first and then the powder, because the powder of the blush itself takes away any stickiness on this side. I just really laid it on thick, and it is generally a blingier look, but if you use an airy brush, you're not going to have an issue with that. And on this side, you know, I feel it a little, it's a bit balmy, a little bit less than a lip balm would be sticky. That sort of thing doesn't bother me, but I know some of you it might. These would also be very, very pretty on the eyes. As I said earlier, in case you've been dipping in and out of the shades in this video, I find that it does not highlight pores. It's bound to a little bit because it's a highlighter, but I really find that in terms of a highlighter, these are really the good points that I'm doing here. It does not highlight unevenness and texture and pores as much as many other just simple highlighters do. I think the other positive points of this are that this is innovative. We all have 5 million highlighters. I think I have 5,000,005. Perhaps you have 5,000,006. You're welcome to take me on in comments about that. We all have so many. This is innovative and different. As the shades are more fair, I do believe, and I said this earlier, the powders are a little bit innovative and interesting. And as we get deeper, I think it's actually the balms or the creme portion that becomes a little bit deeper and more interesting. I don't think you need all of them. It is certainly a look, as all of Patrick Ta's products are. It is editorial. It's quick. I don't think it takes forever. It's going to take you a little longer on the downside. It's going to take you a bit longer than some highlighters, which you just dip and swish, although you can do that here. My feeling is that to use these to achieve the best look, you're going to do something like this, which is too deep for my face, but still even kind of looks cool. And that is his technique of cream over the powder. Yeah, it takes a second longer. Some of you might not like that. When used alone, if you're really in a hurry and you're just going to use the powder alone, just swoosh, swoosh, whoop, whoop, I think it's a bit glittery on its own. It's really meant to be paired, although Patrick Ta himself admits wear it however you want, but it's really kind of made to be paired with the cream. And I think the powder alone suffers, and frankly, I think the cream alone suffers. I think they kind of need each other. And if you use Patrick Ta's method, I really think that's our prettiest throughout. But you know, you can disagree with me all you want. Now, we all have a million highlighters. What is interesting about this isn't the shades so much as the combination of the cream and powder. It's texture here. However, I am super, super happy to compare shades for you because for a lot of you, I know that's really what it comes down to when you're making a new purchase. So you can ask me that below. You can send me a DM over on Instagram or ask me in comments over there, and I will get that comparison up for you. I'm very, very happy to do that, okay? So keep that in mind. We're trying out a new thing here on YouTube, if you haven't seen it yet, and it is called YouTube Shopping. So not only will you be able to get all of these products down in the description bar, but did you know, see that there's a little symbol there, and you can click on that and order any of these products right from your screen. It doesn't even take you out of the video. Isn't it kind of cool? I'm happy to be testing it out. So tell me if you like that as well in comments. I want to hear every thought that you guys have because that's what makes us a community. So let me know and share and like and subscribe, of course. And I will see you all in the next video. I am not washing my face for a while now. Just let this sit. No more face washing. Bye-bye.